Hey, so welcome back to Algin Gardens. As you can see, or probably can't see, but it's December. We fermented our, we have some fermentations that we did with the peppers. So this is just a follow-up on me making it, tasting it, seeing how I like it. I already did the Tabasco and another mix that I had back there, the ají mango that we mixed. Those turned out fabulous. I'll show you at the end of the video what they look like. But I wanted to take these and do these with you guys just so you can kind of get an idea of what I did. So this, we're going to start with just the Sugar Rush Peach. And I'm going to unveil it, get to it. So what I'm going to do now is I have a bowl of some water here, soapy water. As I take the stopper out, it's going to do. And cloudy just means that it's fermented. So that film is normal, okay? That's the lactobacillus. I'm probably saying that all wrong. But that's the lactic doing what it's supposed to do. So what I'm going to do is pull the stop. Take this off, and because I didn't want to get all of that on me, I'm going to pull out the weight, put that in there, and because I am just want to be on the safe side, and as you saw a little bit, I was getting that prepared earlier. We have a fermentation. It's going to give us the pH balance. So I'm going to stick this in, just kind of check to see where we are with it. I'm looking for a specific range just to make sure that none of it is harmful. And according to this, we are at a pH of about, as I'm shaking, we're at a pH of about 2.8, and it's climbing a little bit, so I'm going to give it like a 30-second reprieve. But I want to say we're going to be probably close to about a pH of 3, which is spectacular. Not sure if you can read that from how the camera is focusing on it, but we're getting the readings here, so you know I'm not joshing you. So we're about a 2.95 according to this. So that's going to give us about a pH balance of 3, which is right where we want to be for fermentation. Cool. And I'm good with that. What I should have done so that I can rinse these each, so I'm just going to get some water. Sorry for my back to you. Just so I can rinse off the brine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and drain the brine in here. Now I'm not worried about getting all of the brine. So what I'm going to do is I am going to shred this or chop it up, blend it so that it becomes saucy. And this is your preference. When I cut these, I didn't necessarily cut them so that I took the seeds out. I like the seeds. I like the extra kick. I like the fact that it's not as loose or thin of a hot sauce, pepper sauce, whatever you want to call it. But I'm also in the South. I grew up using vinegar-based pepper sauces. That's what I do. So you'll see me go back and forth on this point. For mine, I use distilled. I have done some white vinegar. I have done it with apple cider vinegar. This is where you kind of play with your flavor profiles here. For these, I'm going to stick with the distilled white. I already made some earlier batch of a mess of hot sauces that I did. Same method, except for I didn't ferment them. I just chopped them, went straight to the heat, and that's what we're going to do. So let me just talk a little bit about the process of what we're doing now that I have this before I blend it and make a mess. So the idea of the pepper sauce is that I like vinegar base. I also want to stop the fermentation process because, as you can see, hopefully you can see that little white film. That's still more of the bacteria, good bacteria, that helps the food ferment. The longer it ferments, the richer, the deeper the flavor. And so I do sauces, or I am doing sauces this year. Some are fermented, a lot are not, but I don't want it to continue to ferment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the fermentation process by actually just putting heat to it for about 10-15 minutes, a slow simmer, just to stop the fermentation process from continuing, even though I'm getting ready to bottle it. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this, I'm going to add about, to this, I do an even ratio of how much I have of pepper to vinegar. I've already, in these, I've added onions and garlic and things. They fermented with the peppers themselves. That is your choice. You do what you want to do. That's just what I wanted to do. If I want to add more of that flavoring, now is a good time to do it as well. So this is where you are playing with your flavors, your different kinds. So that's why I chose on this round, I have these peppers separated so that I get different pepper profiles that I'm using based on what I'm cooking or eating, right? So this is the fun part and why you grow your own, right? A lot of these peppers I can't find here where I am in rural North Carolina. So I grow them, make my own sauces the way I like them, way I want them to taste, and there you go. So I'm gonna add some heat, a little bit of salt, vinegar, and I'm gonna let that rock out. This is your world. You're just joining me in mine. So let's get these blended. What I'm gonna do, just as a thought, I'm not gonna get rid of this brine in the sense of I'm tossing it out. I'm gonna hold on to it because I may add some of that brine as I'm blending it just to help this liquid blend better. That's what I'm gonna do. There's nothing wrong with keeping the entire thing of the brine. It's just a matter of how thin and how vinegary you want your sauces. This is what I'm doing. I'm taking the brine out, leaving just maybe a couple tablespoons to help it blend up better, kind of smooth it out in my Ninja blender that I have behind me. And that's kind of what I'm gonna get to. So let me grab the blender, bring it up so you can kind of see what I'm getting into. Help it blend. Got my blending cap. Just giving it a quick shake, make sure I got it all. That's looking brilliant. So you see about, according to this, it's about 16 ounces that I've got. So what I'll do is maybe I'll start about adding maybe about 8 ounces of vinegar to this. blend it up, and then I'll be back. Alright, so I'm gonna get this going here. About a tablespoon. I'm gonna let this rock, and one down, tree to go. Okay, so we've got one going. Hey, so we've got one going on the stove over here. You can see, got this one going, and what I'm gonna do is now I've got 3 more to go. Let's see which ones we have left. So we have the Scotch bonnet, and then we have the Mad Hatter, and so I separated. So these are all Mad Hatters. These are all Scotch bonnet peppers, and this is a ghost pepper mix. So it has a mixture of all different ones, but primarily it's ghost peppers. I suspect this one is gonna be the hottest, but we will see. Stranger things have happened, right? So let me just pop these off. I will give these a good clean. I'm gonna do the same thing. Let me get this kind of working a little bit better for me so you can see what I'm doing just a little bit better. And I'm, again, the same process that I did for the sugar peach. That sealing is on there good. So, oof, okay. Woo, the heat coming out of that, good Lord. So again, I have the weight on here. Plop this in. Forgot to check the pH. Hold on a sec. Okay, so the pH on this, 304. So right where we need to be. Sorry guys, I'm trying. I can tell, let me say this too, I can tell by the smell that it's not, that it has the proper pH, but we want to make sure we're doing things safely. And also too, if there were anything wrong, I could easily get this going. Oh. You may not like spicy things. I enjoy, the more spice the better. I'm the person. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to burn the roof of my mouth and stuff, but even as a kid, my mom ate a lot of spicy things. Therefore, I do. A little bit of brine, just to help it blend. Me and this glove. Get that out the way. this on. Hold up while I get this going. Literally letting this go about 15-20 seconds. Checking to make sure I don't have any big chunks, which I don't. So that's gonna go in here. Look at that rich color. That's gorgeous. Ooh. Yes. Woo. Note to self, do not sniff that. That's no good. So just like the other batch, I want this kind of on the thicker side. To me, that's a good consistency. And I'll try to get you in as it boils up and thickens up and things. I'll get you in on this. So I'm just gonna add about to this amount, add about a teaspoon of salt, and I'll taste it to see what more I may need. Yeah, so let's get this on. And I'm doing a medium heat on these. So I'm not trying to look to scald them. So that's one. Let's rinse this out because I want to kind of maintain the integrity of the flavors that I'm doing. Okay, so the next one we've got is Mad Hatter. Get another glove here. Unless you have no cuts, hands of steel, and are not afraid of touching your hands after the fact. And it never fails, if I don't wear a glove, the first thing I do is wipe my eye with pepper juice all on it. So there you have it. While I'm here. Let's check the pH on this one. We're at about 2.9, so we'll give it a 3. It's climbing a little bit as I shake it, so we'll give it about a 3. That's good for me. I'll rinse off. Grab this up. So I figured for this portion of the video, I just speed it up. All I'm doing is mixing up the vinegar and the peppers, adding some salt, getting it on the stove, getting them out the way, moving over now to the ghost pepper mix, getting that done, checking the pH, making sure it's about a 3, close to it, 2.92, draining it a little bit. I got wiser, left some of the brine in this time. I'm going to get to it. Love using my hands. That's why the gloves are handy. Keeping the brine. I'm going to mix this up real quick. Get it on the blender. Get it into that pot. Get it onto the stove. And we're going to let these, once we're done with this, we're going to let all of these rock out till about 10-15 minutes, again, just on getting their heat on, making sure that we don't have any issues when we start the process for fermentation. We are back and we are ready. I've let these cool down, and let's get these plated up. Get a spatula here. So I'm going to start with sugar, peach. Now, let me say this. At this point, as you can see, like my mix still has like a lot of the pulp, is for lack of a better term for it or thought process. I have not strained it. I kind of like my pepper sauces, hot sauces in general, on the chunky side. Though for the true Tabasco, I did strain it. So I did the same process, except for there's no garlic and onions and stuff with the Tabasco. It's just literally Tabasco, salt, and then the vinegar. And I strained it so that it has the true Tabasco texture, which is very thin. I use this oysters. And I also did that for the ají mango. So at this point, before putting it through, run it through a sieve or a colander just to get the pulps and the seeds out, if you want. I don't. Again, I like the sauce to have some texture, kind of stick to itiveness, if that's the word we can put on this. So that's what I did. I'm leaving it as whole as possible. So through this, through a strainer, and I guess the good question is, what does it taste like? So let's do that. Let me get one of those threads and cloth plate. Ooh. Okay. So how do I describe it? It's got heat. Let's not pretend. This got heat. Would I classify it like as the hottest pepper sauce? No. But it's got some heat. What could I imagine putting this on? Ooh, the possibilities. And I'll probably tip some of that out. But I kind of just wanted to show you how I go about getting them in the bottles. I tend to use glass because this is now shelf stable since we've put it to heat. So this will last. I'm sure some of my family and friends, they'll be on this. But while I'm here, I'll get all of this done. I don't want to bore you with me putting everything in glass, but let's taste this one. So we have that. The next one we have is, let's keep it yellow. This is the Scotch bonnet. Scotch bonnet. different kick for a whole different reason. Now I'm gonna tell you this. I am originally from Jersey, if you don't know, and I've relocated to family land here in North Carolina. So I am used to eating all types of Caribbean cuisine, especially my best friend, two down, childhood best friend living two houses down from me was Jamaican. So I am used to Jamaican food in particular, but a lot of my friends growing up, Jamaican, all over the Caribbean, Puerto Rican, Dominican. So I am used to spiciness and adding spiciness. I even, because I crave it so much, I've learned how to make my own oxtails and curry goats, stewed chicken, ackee and saltfish for breakfast with anywho. So you know the importance of Scotch bonnet peppers. Pepper sauce, it'll stay with me. So that really was the driving force. That's banging. I probably should have some water so I can tell the difference, but let's see. The next one we did was the Mad Hatter. That's this one here. I'm kind of out of frame. So the Mad Hatter. This I suspect is probably the least heat-wise. And I'm correct. It's hot, but it's probably the mildest of hot sauces that I have. Still good though. It has a nice round flavor. So if you are someone who wants a little bit of the heat, a little bit of the cake, but not the lip numbing, I like that. But if you, Mad Hatters, not bad. And let's see, this last one, this is the dangerous pot here. This is the ghost pepper mix. I should have a glass of water, but whatever, we can go in. Okay. Whew. What would I give this one? It is the hottest. Obviously, Scotch bonnet. I'm sure I do grow Carolina Reapers. So there's Reapers, and then there's some lesser peppers in there. There's also sweet peppers mixed, right? So I used sweet peppers just to kind of give the flavor balance. What makes this hot is not the initial heat, but it's the back end. This ghost pepper just sits right on your tongue, and I love it. So let me get all of these done, and I fear that I did not account for having enough bottles. So let me get these bottled up. I'll get them all done, and then I'll come back and just, hang out with you a little bit. Um, we've got our sauces made. This is just going to be epic time. I thank you for joining me here at Algin Gardens. I hope I am inspiring you to grow your own food, to experiment, not just out in the yard, but in your kitchen too. This was super easy to make, just took a little bit of time and patience as far as waiting for the peppers to ferment. Do I have a preference? I don't know yet. I don't know yet. The good thing is I don't have to have one because I'm growing all of these peppers plus some extra this year. So stay tuned. You'll probably see a video of me do some seed starting and going back to revisit when we brought in and overwintered some of our peppers that we grew these peppers from specifically. So once again, thank you for joining us here at Algin Gardens. As always, grow your own, plant your own. Be blessed while you're doing it. Take care.